Welcome to Alive Partner TV. I am Dr. Mario Torres-Leon, and today we have another amazing episode of our already known Human Power series. I have an amazing young woman today with me that I'm completely honored to have with us today to share part of her life story and some of the experiences that she's had prior to arriving at our community, and then enjoying and being so honored by having her be one of our esteemed members in the recently completed cycle of the 28-day Gratitude Launchpad, what we also know as GL28. And if you have not been following the series, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and click on some of the links that we have here on the page so that you can see some of the amazing people that have come to the community and gone through some of the experiences that we have put out, and share their experiences that they've had and how that those journeys that they've taken have transformed their lives. And by virtue of them sharing their journey, they're transforming other people's lives. Today, I have with me this young woman whose name is Kayla Portes. And if we say it in New York, probably people would say Kayla Portes. Say
I've
that
got that a
right,
lot.
Kayla? Uh,
Hello, good morning.
Good morning and good to see you. Kayla is a New York born young woman, and she has Latino heritage from the Dominican Republic. So I have a lot of love and connection to her background because, as many of you know, I am Puerto Rican born. So I love to actually have people that have the spiciness and the warmth of the Latino culture. So Kayla, welcome to the Human Power series, and thank you for being here with me today. So
Thank
one
you
of
so
the
much
things
for having
that,
me. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm
I
sorry, I
did.
didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Again, thank you so much for having me. And I was trying to place your accent, and I think it's funny you say you're Puerto Rican because my stepdad is Puerto Rican. So
Okay.
when I do speak Spanish, I have like a multitude of accents, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, you look Puerto Rican, you sound Puerto Rican." I was like, "Yeah, because I was raised by one."
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
that's fun. Well, one of the things that I like to do when people come to these conversations of the Human Power series, Kayla, is to do it organically and to share some of your background, and do it in a way that the audience can get to know you a little bit, and then basically we talk about what the journey of being a member in the Alive Partner community and recently going through GL28 has been like for you. So I'm just gonna allow you to share some of that as it comes for you.
It has been a very different but very healing experience, and it's just like the tip of the iceberg is what this has been for me because it's allowed me to realize just how much I've been storing in my body, just how much I haven't allowed myself to properly process or acknowledge even. Because growing up, like you said, I was born in New York. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and my mom moved out of there when I was just 3 days old. I wasn't even a week yet when she moved to Pennsylvania. So I've spent summers in Brooklyn, but I've never actually lived in New York, even though it's funny because I do have an accent when I get upset. Like I said, I have a multitude of accents. I spent some time, like a few years in Philly as well. So my Philly accent comes out sometimes. But I spent basically my entire life growing up in poverty, growing up in just not the best living conditions, not the best household conditions because my mom, up until about 9 or 10 years, well, I'm her firstborn. She had me at 18 years old. So that in and of itself created a lot of issues because she had me so young, and she was basically just like thrown into the world of adulthood and motherhood and parenthood without having much assistance or guidance, so that trickled down to me and my brothers. um my biological father, like I said, I was raised by a Puerto Rican man. My biological father is a dark-skinned Dominican man who chose not to be in my life because I am not as melanated as he would have liked me to be. Um, I came out like the women on my mom's side, like she's fair skinned like you and I. My grandmother on her mother is fair skinned like you and I. So she obviously had the more dominant genes, and my father accused her of cheating and walked out of the hospital room as soon as I entered this world. So that has given me a lot of insecurity and like identity crisis because I am into this world as a Dominican American woman. I have very little knowledge, little to no knowledge of my culture. I know almost nothing of my family side. Um, and I just struggled between my Latin heritage and my blackness as well. So it felt like my entire life I was trying to prove that I'm Hispanic enough, trying to prove that I'm black enough. And to this day, it still pulls some strings. It's still like something I struggle with, just, not being as connected to my culture or being connected to like my a culture on both ends, like my blackness and my Hispanicness. Because up to a certain point, I just there you spoke English and you didn't. I didn't learn what race was until third or fourth grade. Um, And then growing up in poverty, it caused a multitude of issues. My mom wasn't really at home because she was always working, and because she wasn't really at home, she wasn't privy to a lot of things that were happening to me or my brothers, between abusive family members, between sexual abuse, different hands growing up. So it was always a lot of things that I never took the time to acknowledge, let alone unpack. And beginning GL28, um, it introduced me to it allowed me to feel like what's actually happening and to actually like sit down and mourn the childhood I never got to have, or just the realization of generational and cyclical trauma. Um, and it gave me like a lot of insights. Like, there's no need for me to shame myself for feeling. There's no need for me, especially as a woman, to feel weak when I show emotion, especially like I cry at very much for very little. And I can feel it happening now. And I get mad every single time. And it's just a redundant feeling. So, as a human and as a woman, I shame myself for the things that make me a human and a woman, and because it makes me feel weak. Because I remember after, like in middle school, I had already been assaulted at least 3 times. From like the ages of I'm 26 now, so from the ages of like 5 to 25, it's just ongoing, different hands, different times. But I remember at one point, I genuinely hated the fact that I was a woman, and I hated the situation I was living in. I hated the way I was growing up, because it felt like I was born to fail. It felt like I was set up to fail. And it felt like at one point, being a woman was synonymous to weakness, because there had been so many times where I was weak and I was helpless. And it's just now that I'm realizing that that's not the case. Um, there were so many times where I told my mom, like, I wish I was born a man. If I was a man, I wouldn't be going through this. If I was a man, no one would see me as weak or take advantage of me the way that they have. Um, if I was a man, I'd be able to like work better paying jobs, or just something of like trying to find sense where there wasn't any. And I remember just I would wake up angry, and I would go through the day angry, and I would just find little things to make me even angrier. Just like, oh, I hate this. This is so annoying. Why is this like this? And like picking apart the jobs that I had. I'm like, oh, I hate this job. I hate the corporation. I hate this, that, and the third. And then joining GL28, it was like getting like a really good glasses cleaner, like a really good cloth, and actually cleaning your glasses and realizing how dirty it was. And I realized it didn't have to be that way. Like, yes, there have been very negative aspects to my life. There have been very non-pleasant things, but at the same time, if you look for shit, you're only going to find shit. So it was at a certain point I had to wake up and I had to make the decision that this isn't going to be my life anymore because I
Yeah.
do have control. I have more power than people have allowed me to believe. And coming from someone who genuinely thought that their entire life was just going to be awful and shitty and just being the victim over and over again, it's just I had to make the decision that that's not going to be my life because I refuse for that to be my life. And there was a strength in that decision and the reclaiming of my power that so many people have taken from me throughout my life. And realizing that I am stronger than I believe, I am stronger than these people made me feel. And when I started my day counting out my blessings and I really would sit there and think about it, I'm like, there's so much to be grateful for, and there's so much to enjoy. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the way the leaves shake in the breeze, the whispers of the wind, the people around me who love me the best that they can, the man that stepped up when my biological father didn't want me. Like, there are so many things that I just had to take the time and see. Like I've never been like I'm baptized Roman Catholic and I've been struggling with like religion and faith recently, especially like the Christian belief. But I know that they say seek and ye shall find. They didn't say that by accident. Like you have to choose and you have to go and look for it. And you have to make the active decision and the active take the action essentially to change. If you don't change, there will be no change. Everything starts with you. So many people wish to change the world, but changing you is the first step. Is changing your world that changes the world because I'm also of the belief that like if we are made in God's image, then essentially we are God because we are split up experiencing ourselves in different perspectives. So changing yourself is changing the world because you change those around you, you change how you view yourself, how others view you. And yesterday it was the first time like I had that experience like actually because again through the GL28 program I was looking up a nail salon and the directory took me to Facebook and our GL28 cycle was on Facebook and I saw I had a bunch of notifications because I'm really not on my phone that much. Um and I saw the video that Reiko had made. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Reiko. But she is such a sweet soul, and I seen the video that like for the 28th day prompt was to honor someone, and that she chose me, and she made a video thanking me and saying how she was grateful for me telling my story, and that genuinely pulled on a string I wasn't expecting it to, because again for so long I had been told that I overshare and I make people uncomfortable. So in that and being told that multiple times, I pulled back and I would only give people like a surface level version of me and I wouldn't be authentic, I wouldn't be vulnerable. And in that moment for the celebratory call, I chose to be authentic and vulnerable and it touched people. And I wasn't expecting that. I I grew up believing that my existence is insignificant, that I have no hold on people, that I have no basically that I'm just extremely forgettable or that I'm just not important in the slightest. And that was one moment where I was shown that that's not true. And I didn't know how to feel about that at first because it was amazing to me that I would be able to have that effect on someone, especially someone I've never even met before. And I had to sit with that and tell myself that in hiding yourself, you're depriving other people of your greatness. And that is something I never believed about myself before, that I could be great. And so I'm just incredibly grateful for my boyfriend Jahi Jr. because he is the one that he showed me the book in the first place, and that's how we did our first cycle together. And then our second cycle was with you, Dr. Mario, and it just multiplied. Like the experience was just so much more significant and intense, and I can't. It still feels like I won't properly be able to tell you the effect that it's had on me, the change that it's had within me. And I'm just so grateful and thankful to you for taking the time to create this community, to make this your life work, to make to because the fact that you felt called to this says so much. And the fact that you do this and you create these experiences for people and you help us to change, you help us to heal. And that is beautiful. That is one of the most beautiful things you can ever do in life. And I thank you, Dr. Mario, so much for that and for everything that you've done, because I would not be in this mind state if it were not for you. I would not have had these experiences and these realizations if it were not for you. The fact that I'm holding on to so much, the fact that you told us to print out the soul map so we could be aware of what we feel in our body, and that was the first step that I'm like, whoa, I'm holding in a lot. I didn't realize all the emotions that manifest in your body, all the energy that has nowhere to go, so it shows itself in your body. And that was another like very, very big eye opener. So, and again, like with all, if it wasn't for, family trauma, sexual trauma, just it felt like so much was just gathering and building me down and holding me down and suppressing me until the one day I realized it doesn't have to be this way. I don't have to let these people have this power over me. And I can't tell you how liberating that truly feels. To know that I can be more because I am more. To know that I am more than what's happened to me. I am more than my experiences. And in talking about it, I can bring other people that sense of familiarity, that sense of closeness, that sense of I'm not alone, because you're not. No one's ever really alone. Like these are not things that happen to any individual person. We are all a collective feeling the same things. But if we keep them to ourselves, we're always going to feel like we're the only ones, and we're not. We're really not. We're all feeling and experiencing the same things, just in microcosm versions. And in a sense, I feel like once people realize that, there's a beauty to it. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I can breathe. I feel like I can be. And that also is just so liberating, because these are things that, as again, in 26 years of life, I never knew what that felt like. I never knew what it would feel like to not have to wake up and wonder if I'm going to have a home. I never before knew what it felt like to wake up and not have to worry about what I'm going to eat today, if I'm going to eat today. I never before had to wake up and know that I'm safe and not have to worry, is someone going to hurt me? Do I have to keep looking over my back to see if someone's going to pop out of nowhere? I don't have to deal with stalkers anymore. I don't have to deal with people hurting me anymore. And I feel like part of that freedom is still acknowledging that even though your mind knows you're okay, your body doesn't. Your body still feels like something is wrong. Your body still feels like it has to prepare for whatever might happen next. And I feel like that's also a very, very important part for people to acknowledge, to realize, and to sit with. Your mind can know one thing, but your body will feel and hold another. So even though my mind was telling me that I'm safe, I'm okay, I don't have to worry anymore, my body is still preparing for the next threat. And it's going to take a while to get out of survival mode, especially when it's been your entire life. Like, I spent my entire childhood just writing poetry, wanting to be a poet, wanting to be a writer. And one day I just stopped. One day I just stopped writing. I stopped reading. I stopped thinking about it because I couldn't afford to put my energy into that. My energy had to go into keeping me alive, to keeping me okay the next every day, every single day, every moment, every hour, every day. And it doesn't have to be that way anymore. I don't have to constantly worry what's going to happen. I just have to worry about healing and everything that comes with that. About feeling and not hating yourself for feeling, not hating yourself for shaming these emotions because they exist for a reason. Not only to feel your emotions, but to allow them to pass is also very
Yes.
important. And these are all things I genuinely do not believe I would have found or come to realize if it were not for you and this course. And I feel like it's very important to say that because, again, me and Junior are among the youngest in the group. And I feel like it's something that's very easily written off and laughed at. Like, oh, gratitude, oh, healing. Like, it sounds cliche and it sounds redundant, but it's so true and it's so important. Gratitude is the key to healing and happiness and just living, actually, truly living life. You can't do anything without gratitude, and gratitude does go farther than just please and thank you. It's realizing that we wouldn't have water in our faucet if it weren't for the people, in the companies. It's realizing that we are not like when you go outside and you look at the trees and you feel the sun on your skin, it's realizing that we have to take care of the earth that we are given because it gives so much to us. So we have to give back to it in return and take care of the land that we are on. It's realizing that, when you walk into a store and it's clean and everything is stocked, somebody did that. Somebody maintains this, somebody stocks this. And it's so easy. Everything is so easily taken for granted in this day and age until we don't have it. And y- where are the words? Everything is just so easily taken for granted. And it isn't until you take that step back and realize, like, everything you do in a day and everything that you're just so casually just, oh, I'm gonna go get coffee. Oh, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that. You wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't know how to drive. Wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't have a vehicle to take you to and from. You wouldn't be able to do that without public transportation that takes you to and from. And the people that drive that and the people that operate that. There are so many outside forces that contribute to your day-to-day life that people just don't think about, and it's so easy to brush off. And you have to sit and be thankful, truly thankful about everything that you have because it can be so easily taken away. As someone who has grown up and has lived without for so long and has been brought and welcomed into a family, into someone who was born in poverty and welcomed into a middle class home, it is a completely different world to me. And every day I'm just so grateful for the world that I wake up in. I'm grateful I wake up into a warm bed. I'm grateful that I wake up into a home and a family that has welcomed me as their own. I am grateful that I am safe now. And these are all powerful things because it's energy. And when you put the energy into positivity, positivity will come back at you. You reap what you sow. And if you wake up every day angry, bitter, upset, you're going to reap what you sow and you will receive things that will make you even more angry, bitter, upset. And I can't remember like the actual law that it is, or like, the quantum physics behind it, but it's true and it's powerful. You get what you give in your energy field and your thought process. Your body, your mind is energy. It is, I think, therefore I am. As within, so it is outside. And again, these are all very things that are very easily laughed at, but there is deep truth in them. If you wake up angry, you will find people and things that will just mirror that back at you. But if you wake up joyful, if you wake up looking for that, you will find the mirror to that. And these are all just very, very powerful ideals and motions and life changing, just incredibly life changing. And I am so grateful to have found you and this journey at my age now so that I can sow the seeds for my future and for my descendants. And
We have a conversation today with this incredible, incredible, incredible human being. You are Kayla here in the Human Power series. Um, it's so humbling to hear all the things that you have been sharing so vulnerably, so freely, so lovingly, so courageously, fearlessly, because you're living right now from a place of being deeply anchored in who you are and experiencing yourself on a daily basis. For those of you who are watching this conversation, which is truly an embodiment of what the Human Power series is about and the greatness of human beings, it really showcases an amazing journey, which is, as Kayla shared with all of us, not unique to her. There is a lot of experiences that can be felt or registered as traumatizing. And nobody can take that away from if you're watching this and you're one of those people that can relate to Kayla's story, which is very compelling and very guttural. It becomes a really real thing for you as you are listening to this. And Kayla said it in a incredibly wise way when she shared that um, this is that the more that we go into the depth of this and experiencing, we really unleash it for humanity. Kayla, what you have been speaking to today as you share um, is a truly magnificent discovery, and is the discovery of oneness consciousness, where you start to understand not from here, but from the whole body experience that your journey is not unique to you, and there's a fabric that connects us all in that aspect of living. I want to showcase something that Kayla has been speaking to that I would like to add to what she has been saying, if I may. And is she said, I think, therefore I am. However, one of the things that happens in the Alive Partner community and certainly happens in the 28-day Gratitude Launchpad GL28, as you have been hearing her mention it, is the fact of, and I like to really process it differently for my community, is I feel, therefore I am. We have been in the times of the Enlightenment, and we still have not let go of the 19th century, where we revered the brain, which clearly has a tremendous potential and power and has allowed us to do a lot as a species in the planet. But in the process of gearing ourselves and directing ourselves to the brain, we have forgotten of the superpowers of the feeling body. And this journey that you have so beautifully and powerfully been sharing with all of us this morning, Kayla, it really has been a journey of returning to essence, of returning to being reminded in your journey because of your disposition to embrace this work and consider it, of how your feeling body has really unleashed with the power of gratitude the aspect of healing. And as you know, Kayla, one of the things that we talk about here in the community and in our safe container, all of us who go through this, is that feeling plus gratitude equals healing. Gratitude plus feeling equals healing. And what you have been speaking to and so generously been sharing with us is that this journey of finding your power again, not because of me, not because of the program, because of your willingness to meet all of that through what we teach in the community and in the GL28 journey. You have really taken it on because of your willingness, nobody else's. And you have been able to unleash a massive nuclear like reaction of healing and exponentializing your embracing of your human greatness, which lives within you. Did not come from the program, did not come from me. It lives inside of you. And being able to have other people in our experience inside of our community, you gave yourself permission. Nobody else did. You did that. And then all of these things have been simply unfolding. And now they continue to exponentialize on a daily basis after completing the program a couple of weeks ago. Is this resonating? Can you speak to that?
Absolutely, yeah. Because again, it all starts with you. No one can force you to do anything. You have to want to. And when you choose to take that step, it is the most powerful one.
No, no question about that. Kayla, one of the things that I am really inspired by you, because you clearly have inspired me deeply. I've shared that in our community because of your vulnerability, your courage, which is just simply superhuman. I mean that respectfully and sincerely,
Thank you.
especially with your life journey and the vicissitudes, the challenges that you faced, which are just simply incredible. But one of the things that I am really inspired by you as well is the fact that your heart has been gravitating to be a professional writer. And one of the things that I am absolutely convinced in witnessing your journey and having the privilege to serve you as part of one of our esteemed community members is that there's no question in my heart that your work, as you now venture into really reclaiming that heart's desire of yours to serve the world with your life journey and put it into words, whether it's through your content, books, and whatnot, that is truly going to be in every single regard transformational for those who have the opportunity to be exposed to what you have to share. Can you speak to that and to how you're experiencing yourself and how you're reclaiming that professional desire and how you see all of this work impacting your career moving forward?
The the one thing I've noticed is, especially when it comes to me, when it comes to just the art form and the craft in general, the the pieces and the works that matter are always the ones that are hardest to write. And that's also something I've come to acknowledge on my healing journey. So I sometimes I'll sit down and I'll just stare at a blank page because nothing will come to me because I'm trying to force it. But when I'm sitting there and I'm just existing and my mind is just not in any particular space, scenes will start to play before my eyes. I'll hear the words and sentences and I'll just write them down as fast as I can. And it might not all belong to the same story, but they will eventually together paint the same picture, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, because again, when you put so much energy into just trying to survive, like there's not much room for creativity. And now sometimes it just feels like my brain is being overloaded with everything that I couldn't see or hear all those years ago.
That's incredibly powerful, right? Because now the creative genius is being given, the rights. It's been given license now to be allowed to go through you, and all of those experiences to connect with that inspiration. That's incredibly powerful for people who are feeling stuck in their lives and so on. And once again, you've been able to access that to the power of gratitude and bringing in the feeling body. For those of you who are new to this conversation here in the Alive Partner TV Human Power series, we've been in conversation today with Kayla Portes. And one of the things that Kayla mentioned earlier, for those of you who are not acquainted with some of the things we do in our community, is the SOul map, SOMAP. And the SOul map stands for the Feeling Body Map, which is one of the things that I've developed through awareness that came to me years ago. And I've been basically bringing that, introducing that to the public, because I have not been able to find, as a physician, over 30 years of being in medicine, anything more powerful to the process of healing that bringing gratitude and incorporating that with the feeling body. When we start to do that, as you have been, sharing with us today, Kayla, simply things that we would call miracles start to happen, but it's something that lives within us, and we have been pretty much suppressing it, oppressing it, repressing it, depressing it, and basically trying to navigate life through the power of the mind, which is super powerful, and kind of blocking things off and being in this positive talk, trying to get ourselves out of what the body's telling us. No, you cannot escape this unless you actually go into it, right? So having a map to be able to place it, like you were saying earlier, it allows you for the first time in most people's lives to have a physical representation of what is it that I'm experiencing, right? Which we had not had that until now for those people that have access to the tool. Kayla, can you be generous enough with us, if I may ask, to tell us who is this kind of experience, GL28, the 28-day Gratitude Launchpad and the Alive Partner community for? Who would you recommend this to? Who would you say you have to try this and invite to basically join us to do this? Because as you were saying before, it may be cliche or a little, woo-woo to be thinking about, oh, gratitude, thank you so much, please, this and that. It's one of those things that may be hard to explain to others unless you actually have had the experience. How would you actually put that into words to invite others and share that, to say, give it a try?
I genuinely do believe that this program and this practice is for all walks of life. Doesn't matter what your background is, what your tax bracket is, it is for everybody. But especially, I feel like it's those who who would resonate with me in the sense of growing up in poverty, growing up in struggle, growing up in abuse. Because when you go through all those things, like I said, my mom had me at 18. She had 3 kids by the age of 26. So that's rough. Having 3 little children at so young, that's rough. So people who have gone through abuse, people have lived through poverty, when it's so easy to look at the world around you and think that it was set up against you, it's I think you would benefit greatly from this because will it give you the tools to fight systemic oppression? Not really, but it will give you the tools to fight what it's doing to you. It will give you the tools to allow you to reclaim your power, your strength, your mental fortitude, and allow you to realize that, yes, even though we are living in tough times of phobias of every kind, of classism, of so many things, you can rise above that. That doesn't, the tools that this world is putting in place to keep you down, this will help you rise up again. This will help you reclaim your power. This will help you change your mindset. This will help you realize that you are the strength, that you are the power, and nobody can take that from you.
I really appreciate that. That's super, super powerful. Kayla, you have been so generous, and I am beyond grateful to you, not only for being here in the Human Power series, uh, which you're so worthy of being showcased in, because once again, your journey is incredible. The way that you took this work and alongside with your newly acquired family, with Jay Jr., his family, who have basically embraced you as a daughter in the house, which is so beautiful. Uh, it's incredible, but you're worthy of all of it, and you have really been a creator in this process in the community. You inspired many members who were part of this from all over the world in our last cycle, and clearly you have been an agent of change and transformation. So I can't thank you enough. In parting thoughts here, any last words, any awareness that may come that you may want to share with those community members who are watching this episode of the Human Power series?
Just sorry if I've been rambling. I always feel like I have a tendency to repeat myself when I go off for so long, but thank you to everyone who was a part of this journey. Thank you to everyone who took the time to read everybody's posts, to comment. Thank you again to Raiko for your, again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Thank you again for that video, because again, it's allowed me to remember and feel my importance as a person, as a woman, as someone existing in this world, someone who has existed with all of you. Thank you for everybody who shared. Thank you for taking time to watch this video to the end. Just thank you so much for all of the energy, all of the kindness, because in a world where there's so much darkness and abuse and just manipulation of power, kindness and patience truly shines through. And I feel like that's what is what has been taught to us in this cycle, and what has been shown to us throughout many people. You are important. You are worthy. You are deserving. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Massively grateful for you, for your beauty, for your greatness, for your human power, for your generosity, and knowing that your share or your sharing of your journey is truly transformative to those who actually hear you. I completely trust and I am in the knowing from my heart that your life will continue to unfold in absolutely beautiful, beautiful, powerful, miraculous ways. That your work, through your writing, or whatever you do, Kayla, from this place that you're living in and sharing it so compellingly and so generously with all of those around you, definitely makes the world a better place. So I want to thank you again for being here with us. And I want to invite everybody who's watching this episode of the Human Power series here in Alive Partner TV with Dr. Mario Torres-Leon to please share this if this has resonated with you, which honestly, I don't think how could this not resonate with anybody, because this is about being human. And as I like to say every single time that I'm in front of you, sharing our stories and the teachings here in the Alive Partner community, if this has deeply resonated with you, please be kind and generous and share it with those people in your life that you care about. Because in you sharing with others what you have witnessed today, you may actually be the link that bridges the gap, the catalyst for somebody else's healing, transformation, and really exalting somebody else's life through your sharing. So if that is the case, please like this and share it with those people that you really care about in your life. It may really make the difference between somebody wanting to be alive and somebody simply not wanting to be here in this journey, which we call life anymore. I am Dr. Mario Torres Leon. Kayla, I cannot say thank you, thank you, thank you enough for your generosity, for being here with us in such a powerful way. I wish you continued success and continued unfolding of this beauty and majesty in your life that is coming from within you, and to not be afraid of showing it, not be afraid of feeling it. As you do so, you change the world and you make it a better place. Thank you so much. This has been Mario Torres Leon here in Alive Partner TV, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode and to read all of your comments here in our channel. Thank you so much. Until next time.